So tell me about yourself. You're Malaysian and also Korean.
Yeah. So my name is Wayne, and I'm from the strategy planning team in SK Magic Malaysia. And I'm half Korean, but I do hold a Malaysian passport.
Okay.
And I'm currently stationed here in Korea for 6 months as a product manager in the global business unit.
Boleh cakap bahasa Malaysia?
Sikit, but not so good.
So
not
much.
so good. Yeah.
I've seen you do Korean and it's really superb, and of course English. Would you consider Korean or English as your first language?
Definitely English because I lived most of my life in Malaysia, but I would say my Korean has rapidly improved ever since I joined this company.
That's always the case, right? When you move in country, suddenly whatever the basic that you have, you just
Correct.
upskill yourself.
That's for sure.
So where did you study?
Okay, so I actually studied at the University of Melbourne,
Okay.
majored in economics,
Okay.
and I spent a little bit of time studying Korean here at Yonsei University as well.
Like auditing a few classes or?
Oh, so I was here for a language program basically.
Oh,
For
okay.
a couple months because I knew I needed to brush up my Korean, being a half Korean.
That's like postgraduate.
Postgrad, yeah, that's right.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And then of course when you wanted to find a career, you went back to Malaysia.
Correct. So after my studies at Yonsei University, I decided to go back to Malaysia, and I knew as a half Korean Malaysian person living in Malaysia, it would be most beneficial for me to work in a Korean company in Malaysia.
Okay. Then how did you come about to know about SK Magic?
So before I started working for SK Magic, I was actually working part-time as an interpreter in mostly Korean events. And that's when I came across someone who was affiliated with the SK Group. And that's how I got my interview with SK Magic, and the rest is, I guess, history.
Okay. Let's get before the history part. What did you study in Melbourne?
So in Melbourne, I did a major in economics at the University of Melbourne.
Okay. And then of course, Mr. Yoon, the CEO of SK Magic, was telling me that your mom is a famous interpreter.
Yeah, so my mom has been, basically being married to a Malaysian, yeah. So she moved to Malaysia 30 years ago, and she started her career as an interpreter in Malaysia about 20 years ago. So she, I guess, is pretty well known in the Korean community in Malaysia.
Okay.
Yep.
It's like, what does she translate? Like official
So-
documents, movies?
So from concerts to kind of economic events, and I believe that she has handled some of government relation events between Malaysian and Korean governments as well.
Did you expect to be a translator in a way for Mr. Yoon here in Korea?
I knew when I heard that the media team from Malaysia was coming, I knew that I would be involved because when Mr. Yoon came down to Malaysia earlier this year, I was his translator in Malaysia as well.
Okay.
So
it's like you-
so I knew that I would be involved in the interpreting some.
How's it like working in a Korean company?
So I think it's a little bit different working in SK Magic here in Korea and also working in SK Magic in Malaysia. I'm sure you guys have seen here in Korea how big the SK conglomerate is and how big SK Magic is in Korea. So in Korea, I'm working in pretty much a large corporate setup. However, in working in Malaysia for the past 4 years, in Malaysia, because SK Magic is still relatively new, it's more of a startup kind of setup. So it's different in that sense.
But the ability for SK Magic to grow in Malaysia is exponential, actually.
Oh, of course. Like with the backing of SK Magic and also the SK Group from Korea, I know that the backing is massive for the Malaysian office. And as you heard today as well, they are planning to develop Malaysia into the regional hub for the Southeast Asian market as well.
So because of this whole, I guess, cultural differences, was it easy to adapt when you moved to Korea to work in SK Magic Group in Korea?
I would say it wasn't too difficult because in Malaysia as well, we have expats from Korea sent over to handle the Malaysian business as well. So I would say that I've done most of my adaptations during the first few years in Malaysia in SK Magic. Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Do you find it interesting working here?
Yeah.
Of course, you're paid to say that, but
well, for sure, because I've living in Malaysia, I know of SK and I know how big they are, but I've never seen it and witnessed it with my own eyes.
Yeah.
So now that I'm actually sent here and stationed here, I'm actually physically seeing the size of this company and the potential of the growth for this company, and even more so for the Malaysian office as well.
Because I know I've seen SK somewhere, OH, overhead. ATL, and then this opportunity came, and I started to dig deep, and it's like, oh my God, this is a huge company.
Yeah.
So that realization, and then of course, as more and more digging came up, I'm like, okay, so this company is a big deal in Korea. Do you feel that the brand awareness is going to be a big challenge for Malaysia, or it's going to be just quite fast for Malaysia to pick it up?
So of course, brand awareness, I think, is going to be a challenge. However, with the support that we're getting and with strategies ahead, I think that SK Magic will definitely be able to position themselves as the leader in the home appliance industry in Malaysia.
Yeah.
And not to mention as well, there are, being one of the subsidiaries in a massive group, there are also other SK companies that have entered the Malaysian market, not only just in the home appliance industry as well, but the other industries as well. So I believe that the SK brand will be very well known in Malaysia in the next couple of years times through these other subsidiaries that are entering the Malaysian market.
Final question, you coming back to Malaysia?
Yep, so I am scheduled to be here until the end of the year.
Yeah.
Whether that will be extended or not, I don't know, but I'm definitely looking back to going back to Malaysia because Malaysia will always be home.
Fantastic. Okay, that was Wayne Ong, the SK, the Malaysian insider inside SK group. Of course, there's a lot more that we can cover for this interview, but just stay tuned. Thanks for joining us in this very special interview. I have with me Mr. Yoon Yo-seop, the CEO of SK Magic. I'll be talking to him at length about the values that the company has and how this will intend to be permeated throughout the market and ensure that their customers and other stakeholders share those values as well. Thank you, Mr. Yoon, for taking the time to speak with us. It's been a pleasure coming to Korea. Of course, it's also important for us to actually explore not just the country, but some of the companies that is operating here as well. SK Magic is, of course, one of the bigger companies in the country, and of course, it is only now making its name in Malaysia. Perhaps you can share with us some of the values of the company, especially when somebody is hearing SK Magic for the first time. What would be some of the ideas that you want to share with the people when it comes to SK Magic, for those especially in Malaysia?
So let me introduce SK Magic's key values to you. It is health, convenience, and eco-friendliness. We are expressing our key values through our products and services, and we believe that we have the differentiation over our competitors through these three key values. So we are mixing this into our products and services and continuing our efforts to provide the best products to our customers.
건강하고 편리하고 친환경적인 삶을 살 수 있도록 저희가 최선의 노력을 다할 예정입니다.
Do you consider style and design as the key factor here as well, as part of the values?
그건 당연합니다. 지금 제품의 디자인은 그건 아무리 제품이 기능이 좋고 차별화된 성능을 제공하는
So most definitely. So no matter how good or technological advanced your products are, without nice design and sleek design, people will not purchase your products. So we actually send our products, our key products, to design awards annually, and they are awarded for their design. So our products are not only recognized for their technology and their performance, but also for their outstanding designs as well.
그런 디자인에 있어서도 국제적인 기관으로부터 인정받는 차별화된 제품들을 선보이고 있다. 이렇게 말씀드릴 수 있습니다.
It seems like the target market for your audience or for your customers is those in the mass affluent and the high net worth income segment. Do you feel that this would be an accurate depiction of your target segment? How do you intend to capture this particular market?
1차적으로는 저희는 제조회사에서
So firstly, as a manufacturing company, We believe that the key differentiation that we have to provide to our customers are through our unique selling points of our products. And secondly, we also believe that design is also an innovation. Besides technological innovation, we believe that design is also an innovation that is sought by customers as well. So we are continuing our efforts to satisfying both our technological and also our design needs of our consumers in the market.
Before you were mentioning that you're going to use Malaysia as the regional hub for SK Magic. Also, in an addendum to that statement, you were talking about how the product mix selection is going to be done out of Malaysia. The channel mix is going to be done out of Malaysia. Not just for the country of Malaysia, but perhaps for the regional hub as well. Maybe you can share with us what would be some of the strategic plans that you have for Southeast Asia in relation to making Malaysia your regional hub.
저희가 말레이시아를 선택한 이유 중에 하나도 앞으로 말레이시아
So we believe that Malaysia has extremely high growth potential. So we believe that Malaysia is one of the leading countries in Southeast Asia with a high education and income level and extremely strong cultural background and understanding as well. That is why we want to develop the Malaysian office to the regional hub of Southeast Asia and see huge potential in that market.
그런 잠재력을 가진 나라라고 저희는 생각을 하고 있습니다.
Okay, but I'm looking for specific plans that you can share with us right now. Maybe some of the key strategies that you can think of.
저희의 어떤 말레이시아 성장 전략은
So
크게
I think that there are two key factors to the growth strategy for the Malaysian business. Number one is, of course, to introduce our key values through our products and services to the Malaysian market. And number two is to expand our online channel. So the Malaysian market is currently widely focused on the offline channels. However, we believe that the correct strategy to expand our market is to continue to expand through our online channel as the trends in Malaysia and also over the world is starting to change. And we believe that the Malaysian country has the right infrastructure and the strong infrastructure to back this up.
In pursuit of SK Magic in trying to be a pioneer in the markets that you operate in, maybe you can share with us what will be some of the plans that you have in store for us.
말레이시아에서 온라인 채널의 중요성에 대해서 말씀을 드리면
So we believe that expanding the online channel in Malaysia is extremely important. If we were to talk about Korea, the offline channel is actually already quite saturated and we are already seeing some limits to the offline channel here in Korea. That is why we would like to expand the online channel in advance in Malaysia and to continue to expand our mix. So we are currently focused mostly on rental services. However, we are also looking at expanding our outright service as well. So for the Malaysian market, we are strategizing to be focused on online and also providing customers with customized service and customized packages according to their needs.
세분화되고 다양되는 거에 맞춘 그런 상품들, 그런 서비스들을 출시하는 쪽으로 저희는 방향을 잡고 있습니다.
All right, Mr. Yoon. We'll go for one short break. When we come back, we'll discuss a little bit more with the CEO of SK Magic. Thanks for staying on with us. Let's continue on with our conversation with the CEO of SK Magic, Mr. Yoon Yo-seop. So in markets like Malaysia, for instance, the dishwashing market is quite low penetration. The composting market, for instance, is quite low in Malaysia. Do you have what it takes to enter a market like Malaysia with low penetration rate, with low infrastructure in place? Do you feel that this is an area of concern for you in growing your business here in Malaysia?
예, 뭐 당연히 있고요. 특히 식기세척기 같은 경우는 아직
Yes, the dishwasher market in Malaysia is relatively small and we do know that. However, a dishwasher is a necessity in Korea and in the Europes and also in the States as well.
곧 이런
And we believe that in the near future, it will also become a necessity in the Malaysian market and in the Malaysian homes.
저희는 좀 선도적인 역할을 좀 하고 싶어요.
So we want to position ourselves as pioneers to introduce hygienic and convenient products
남들보다 앞서서
to the Malaysian market over our competitors.
선택을 받으려고 하고 있고요.
And we will continue to introduce these products to the Malaysian market moving forward.
분명히 말레이시아 시장도 경험을 통해서 이런 것들을 받아들일 수 있는 그런 어떤 변화가 있으리라고 저 생각을 하고 있습니다.
What would be some of the challenges that are in store for SK Magic when it comes to positioning yourself being a pioneer in the hygienic market?
제일 큰 어려움은 SK 매직에 대해서 아직
So the most difficult thing would be the brand awareness, with SK Magic's brand awareness still being relatively low in Malaysia. However, we also believe that the fastest way to increase our brand awareness and to turn this around is by introducing the differentiated products that we mentioned into the Malaysian market. And through that, we believe that the Malaysian people will recognize SK Magic as a pioneer brand to introduce highly technological advanced products to the Malaysian market.
그렇게 기대를 하고 있습니다.
The thing about brand awareness is that it's going to drive cost up. And of course, with currency fluctuations, with sourcing channels being a challenge here during a pandemic or post-pandemic period, you're going to see cost driving up the company bottom line. Does this also mean that prices are going to go up as well in terms of end user price?
So costs are definitely increasing through the inflations that are ongoing around the world. However, we are putting a lot of efforts into reducing our costs, and especially in our factory, we are finding different ways and different innovations to reduce our costs. And also we are looking at different sourcing channels to have a more efficient costing. And through that, we believe that we can continue providing our products to the market at reasonable prices.
Let's talk about some of the brands that you are working with, or some of the partners that you're collaborating with, not just in Korea, but of course those in Malaysia as well.
최근에 저희는 말레이시아의 삼성과
So in Malaysia, SK Magic Malaysia has recently formed a strategic partnership with Samsung to sell the wind-free aircon on a rental subscription basis, and we will continue to expand the product lineup with Samsung. And we are also planning to expand strategic partnerships with other companies as well, but this will depend on whether we would be able to continue to introduce the key values mentioned through these partnerships. If we were to talk about Korea, in Korea we actually have a strategic partnership with Philips and another company that we can't mention, but we are also forming a strategic partnership with a furniture company as well. So we are continuing to look into these strategic partnerships to continue providing key values and also customer values to the market.
I want to now ask you about some of the values that you place in terms of sharing these values across the organization. I understand that there's 7,000 people in Korea, there's 2,000 people in Malaysia. How are you going to ensure that the values that was set at the top, at the CEO plus, -1 of the CEO, is going to be shared across the organization to ensure that everybody inside SK Magic is going to be completely familiar with the kind of values that you guys are cherishing, and how does this permeate throughout the organization?
So here at SK Magic in Korea, we place extremely high importance in education. So we have an education team that continuously trains our sales, our service, our technical, our call center, and our corporate staffs as well. Recently, we actually sent our training team to Malaysia to set up the training infrastructure in the Malaysian office as well. And they will actually be sent again next month to be there until the rest of the year to complete the setup of the infrastructure. And the reason why we're doing this is because we want to ensure that the quality of our staffs and also the training provided to our staffs are at the standards that we are providing here in the Korean office. And we will continue our efforts to providing these trainings to our staffs long term.
Do you consider leveling up the Malaysian staff to the same level as the Korean staff in terms of technical awareness, in terms of value understanding, in terms of market understanding, to be the most important thing right now for you, or the most important job you have as a CEO?
당연히 한국에서뿐만 아니고 말레이시아 사업을 하고 있는
So as a company that is doing business not only in Korea but also in Malaysia,
대한 수준이라든가
it's extremely important that the training and also the understanding of the key values of SK Magic aligns in both countries.
지속적으로 말레이시아도 교육이
So besides the training support that we're providing to the Malaysian office, we're actually conducting this talent exchange program between the Malaysian and the Korean office as well.
그런 프로그램들을 올해부터 시작을 했고
So this is to ensure that both countries align in terms of the training qualities and also the business mindset throughout.
비즈니스 마인드라 그럴까? 고객에 대한 생각, 우리 핵심 가치에 대한 생각 그런 것들을 거의 맞춰가는 그런 작업들은 앞으로도 계속 진행할 계획이 있습니다.
If there's one thing that you want Malaysians to know about SK Magic, what would it be?
So the most important thing that we would like the Malaysian people to know about SK Magic is that we place our priority in the health and convenience of our customers. So we provide that through our technology, our design, and SK Magic is a brand that is globally recognized. So we would like the Malaysian people to trust in SK Magic and our products, and we will continue our efforts to provide health and convenience to the Malaysian consumers and do our best in providing and satisfying the needs of the Malaysian people.
명심해 주셨으면 감사하겠습니다.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yoon. That was our conversation with Mr. Yoon Yo-seop, the CEO of SK Magic. If you want to learn more about some of the ideas that we've shared here, and you want to learn more about some of the businesses that they do, just go to astroawani.com. Look for Notepad there. You can look for Niaga Awani. You can also look for SK Magic on astroawani.com. Till then, thanks very much for watching. Catch you in the next one.